Welcome back to Fox Recaps. Today, I'm going to explain the movie Holes, released in the year 2003. The movie opens up with a young boy named Barfbag digging holes in a barren and deserted land with his group. Suddenly, he notices a rattlesnake nearby him. He approaches the snake and puts forward his bare foot, despite his friends warning him from doing so. Angry, the rattlesnake attacks him and the scene shifts. We are then introduced to Stanley Yelnats IV, a good-hearted teenager born to a luckless family that has been cursed for generations. The luckiest of the Yelnats ancestors, Stanley Yelnats I, lost his fortune when outlaw Kissin Kate Barlow stole his treasure chest. The Yelnats blame their Latvian ancestor, Elja Yelnats, who was cursed after breaking a promise to carry Madame Zeroni up a mountain. While Stanley is walking on the streets, a flying pair of shoes lands on him. He picks up the shoes and starts running. To his misfortune, the shoes belong to a famous baseball player, Clyde Livingston, aka Sweet Feet. Soon after, police see him running and arrest him for stealing the pair of baseball shoes that had been donated to charity. As a punishment, he's sent to court and is sentenced for 18 months to Camp Green Lake, a juvenile work camp. When he arrives, he discovers that the camp is actually a dried-up lake run by Warden Walker, her assistant, Mr. Sir, and the camp counselor, Dr. Pedansky. Despite the dangers of the desert sun, rattlesnakes, and yellow-spotted lizards, which can kill with a single bite, the detainees must dig a hole 5 feet deep and 5 feet in diameter every day for the purpose of building their character. The inmates are told that while digging, if they discover anything fascinating, they may be able to earn a day off. Stanley is then sent to his group, which include Armpit, Zigzag, Squid, X-Ray, Magnet, and Zero. Zero is the one who does not speak much but likes to dig holes. At first, Stanley is tortured by them, but later they slowly accept him into the group. After digging the hole for some days, he's given the name Caveman. He soon starts a friendship with Zero, whose real name is Hector Zeroni. In a flashback, we're shown how the Yelnats family males are cursed and suffer from their terrible luck every time. Stanley II explains to Stanley IV about how it all began in Latvia with his great-great-grandpa, Elja Yelnats. Morris Menk, the owner of a barn, hired Elja to shovel manure out of his barn. While doing so, Elja gets attracted to Mira, Menke's daughter. He begins liking her very much, so he contacts a fortune teller named Madame Zeroni to know his fate. To his surprise, Madame Zeroni advises him to travel to America, where her son is living. She also suggests that he should spend his future there rather than with Mira, who has no ambition in life. Despite Madame Zeroni's advice, Elja asks Morris to let him marry his daughter, Mira. Menke refuses immediately, claiming that Igor's offered him his fattest pig for her. Sad, Elja again visits Madame Zeroni and asks her about what he should do. To prove her point about Mira, Madame Zeroni advises Elja to take a young pig from her and carry it up the mountain every day so that as the pig grows, he'll get stronger. Further, she advises him to sing a certain song to the pig when it drinks water from the stream. She also adds that after he offers the fully grown pig to Menke, he should carry her to the mountain and sing the same song while she drinks water from the stream to regain his strength. However, she warns him that if he forgets to perform that last task, she will curse him and his generations with bad luck for eternity. Following this, Elja regularly carries the pig up to the mountain until it is fully grown. He then offers the pig to Menke in exchange for his daughter. At the same time, Menke lets his daughter select who she wants to marry. Listening to this, Mira acts foolish and can't make up her mind. Seeing her childish behavior, Elja screams at her and tells her to marry Igor. He then follows Madame Zeroni's instructions and travels to America, but he forgets to bring her up the mountain as she instructed. On his way, he realizes that he's just made the worst decision of his life. The scene then shifts back to Stanley IV, who returns to the camp late after digging the hole. While he's changing his dress, Mr. Sir arrives and points a gun at him. It appears that Mr. Sir is in fact trying to shoot the yellow lizard behind Stanley. When the lizard runs towards Stanley, Mr. Sir shoots the lizard in time and saves his life. The next day, Stanley writes a letter for his mom, explaining to her about the conditions going around the camp. He claims to be having fun and making new friends in the camp, and also tells her that he's really happy there. Shortly after he finishes writing, the letter is snatched by one of the inmates, who throws it in the dustbin. While digging holes in the day, Stanley asks Dr. Podansky if the area they're digging used to be a lake. Right then, the scene shifts to another flashback, which reveals the history of Camp Green Lake. The place was once a thriving lake town with plenty of water and life. Miss Catherine, the school teacher, is accosted by a rich landowner, Warden Walker's ancestor, Trout Walker. He proposes to her, but she rejects him. Miss Catherine is in love with the onion seller, Sam, an African-American who helps repair her schoolhouse in exchange for her renowned spiced peaches. Among other things, Sam claims that regularly consuming onions and onion juice will keep the local yellow-spotted lizards away. One day, when Sam notices Miss Catherine crying, he approaches and tries to console her. One thing leads to another, and Sam ends up kissing Miss Catherine. While they're making out, they're noticed by Walker. Shortly after, Walker brings his men and burns down Miss Catherine's school. Sam attempts to escape in his boat, the Mary Lou, but Trout's men eventually kill Sam. In retaliation, Kate kills the sheriff, who refused to help Sam. She leaves a lipstick kiss on his forehead, beginning her life as the outlaw Kissin' Kate, who kisses the men she kills. Back in the present, Stanley finds a tube of lipstick that belonged to Kissin' Kate Barlow. However, he decides to give it to X-Ray because the poor guy hasn't had a day off in 6 months. X-Ray gives the tube to Mr. Sir, who then calls the warden to look into it. The warden gets delighted to see the finding and gives an entire day off to X-Ray. The next day, Mr. Sir arrives at the digging place and provides the boys with drinking water. While he's filling the canteen bottles, one of the inmates steals the sunflower seeds from his truck. After he returns, the boys start distributing the seeds. Just then, Mr. Sir returns, searching for his sunflower seeds. He finds the seed bag in Stanley's hole and takes him to the warden. Rather than scolding Stanley, Warden Walker hits Mr. Sir in the face. When Stanley returns to dig his hole, he finds out that Hector had already finished digging his hole. Hector has done so because he wants Stanley to teach him how to read. Stanley tells Hector that the lipstick he found before actually belonged to Kissin' Kate Barlow, as KB was inscribed on it. On the other hand, Mr. Sir is furious at Stanley, so he doesn't provide him with the drinking water. Hector offers his water to Stanley. In return, Stanley teaches Hector to read and to write. In the next scene, we see Hector helping Stanley to dig his holes. Everyone else seems to be jealous of their bonding. After Dr. Podansky insults Hector, he retaliates by hitting him with his shovel and runs away. Soon later, Stanley becomes concerned for Hector, believing that he's thirsty and hungry. Following some thinking, Stanley also flees in search of Hector. After a bit of searching, Hector is ultimately discovered under the wreckage of Sam's boat, the Mary Lou. Hector, now stuck in the desert, offers Stanley the last jar of sploosh, a jar of Miss Catherine's spiced peaches left inside the boat. While the two move their eyes around, Stanley finds a weird-looking mountain which appears to be like God's thumb. Stanley was told by his grandfather that his great-great-grandfather survived after he found God's thumb. They decide to walk up to the top of the mountain knowing they won't be able to live in the desert for much longer. Meanwhile, Warden Walker assumes Hector is dead and orders Dr. Podansky to erase all of his data. Elsewhere, Stanley drags a weak Hector up the mountain where they come across an onion patch and a stream of water, which provides them with enough food and drink to last several days. Because Hector Zeroni is a descendant of Madame Zeroni, Stanley unwittingly breaks the family curse. He fulfills Elia's promise by carrying Hector to the top of the mountain, singing to him, and allowing him to drink from the stream that goes uphill. After waking up, Hector explains that he is the reason Stanley was taken to Camp Green Lake. Hector reveals that he had been homeless and had been living in the shelter where many items had been donated, including Sweet Feet's shoes. He snatched the shoes and went away with them because he liked them and had no idea they were important. Hector then heard sirens approaching, so he removed his shoes and threw them over the bridge, where they landed on Stanley's head. Despite Hector being the reason for his incarceration at the camp, he doesn't get angry and instead says that everything happens for a reason. In a flashback, an older Kate Barlow is discovered in the middle of the deserted lake by Trout Walker and his wife, who is Miss Catherine's former student. It hasn't rained since the day Sam died, causing the river to dry up. They order Kate to surrender and hand over the loot, but she refuses, saying that they can never find her treasures. Suddenly, Kate allows herself to be bitten on the arm by a yellow-spotted lizard and dies on the spot. Back in the present, Stanley's father discovers the key to an odor-eliminating combo that he had been attempting to make all his life. This is possible because Stanley has now broken the family curse. Elsewhere, Stanley and Hector decide to return to Camp Green Lake to look inside the hole where Stanley discovered the tube of lipstick, thinking that there may be more treasure hidden around it. They arrive at the place in the evening and start digging where Stanley found the lipstick. They enlarge the hole and discover a chest. Unluckily, Warden Walker and Mr. Sir discover them and attempt to take the chest away until they notice that yellow-spotted lizards have climbed onto the boys. The next morning, Warden Walker is still waiting for the lizards to go away so that she can steal the chest from Stanley. Meanwhile, Carla Marengo, the Assistant Attorney General and Stanley's lawyer, arrives and searches for Stanley. Walker introduces Stanley to her and tries to persuade her that he has taken the chest from her. Listening to this, Stanley jumps out of the hole and confronts her with Hector behind him. They are still alive due to the fact that the yellow-spotted lizards are averse to the onions they had been eating. Hector also supports Stanley as Stanley Yelnats is written on the front of the chest. When the lawyers return to camp, they ask Stanley to come with them, but he refuses to leave without Hector. At the same time, they also discover that there are no files on Hector. According to one of the officers, Mr. Sir possesses a pistol, which is a breach of the law. Mr. Sir blurts out that Dr. Podansky isn't a real therapist, while Warden Walker claims she had no idea about this. As Mr. Sir, Warden Walker, and Dr. Podansky are arrested, the Assistant Attorney General places Camp Green Lake under his control. Suddenly, it starts to rain as Stanley prepares to leave. Walker, Mr. Sir, and Dr. Podansky are surprised because it hasn't rained for years at Green Lake. Walker requests that Stanley show her the inside of the chest, but Stanley declines. After that, Stanley and Hector drive home together. The chest and its contents are claimed by the Yelnats family. While Stanley's family is digging into the chest and its fortunes, Stanley mentions that his best friend Hector should get half of everything. Hector then uses some portion of the fortune to hire a group of personal investigators and find his lost mother. In the next scene, all of the juvenile detainees at Camp Green Lake have returned home. Later, it's revealed that the place is used as a female scout camp. At the end, an advertisement for the new product, the odor-eliminating combination, Sploosh, airs on television, with Clyde "Sweet Feet" Livingston as the celebrity endorsement. That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this and hit the like button to help us out. Also, leave a comment if you want us to recap your favorite movie. Until next time, take care.